attended today's ceremony. Congressman DeLauro, thank you very much for joining us. Let's look first of all at the president today.
There are very few people who have touched the life of this nation in the same breadth, in the same order of magnitude than the person who is seated right behind me. And so this is just an extraordinary day for him. And I am truly grateful and honored to call him a friend, a colleague, and one of the finest leaders we've ever had. Ted Kennedy.
Congressman DeLauro, we're backed up on the show, but I wanted to get to this topic. I served in the Peace Corps. I benefited from it so much, especially, you know, from Chris Dodd as well served over there. Yeah. It is an amazing experience. How's this going to set the tone? Do you think you can create the imagery and the excitement of the early 60s in the year 2009. Can Barack Obama do that?
Oh, I do. I believe it. I believe that that was one of the reasons why particularly young people got engaged with Barack Obama early on. It was a, and you know, Chris, you talked about serving this Peace Corps, and I served with Senator Dodd, as you know, and he served in the Peace Corps, and he defines that as, you know, probably the most remarkable experience of his life. And it's giving back, it's giving service. And I think that's what so inspired me and probably you with Jack Kennedy, and we see a new generation of young people who are inspired to get involved, because it's about, you know, not individualism. It's about, you know, every man and woman not on their own, but their notion of a shared responsibility to engage in their community and to give something back. And you see that always in this country, particularly at the crises that we have, whether it was 9/11 or Katrina, where people are desperate to be engaged and involved. And I think what this piece of legislation does, and it was a poignant ceremony, really very poignant, because of Edward Kennedy and the Kennedy family and their service. But it's renewed in that bipartisan spirit that was on display there today. And again, I go back to Senator Dodd, who you know, who worked on this legislation. I had the honor of seeing, you know, 4 pieces of legislation that I've been engaged in be part of this effort, to say to young people, to say to middle school, high school kids, to seniors, to folks, be engaged, be involved, and it's important. You can change this country. That's what the president said today, and I think that that is the message, and I think people get it. They're anxious to do this.
Well, Rosie, you've got the enthusiasm. You're the best. Let me ask Congressman Klein, you know, Republicans dump all over this kumbaya stuff. They think all this, we're on this together, is nonsense. They are much more hard-nosed. Are we in a period that's more hard-nosed, or are we back to that spirit of, well, anything's possible?
Well, I think this is one of those issues that all Americans, Democrat and Republican, get it. And national service, volunteerism is a fundamental value in the United States. I personally feel very strongly that whether a young person chooses to serve in the military and put the uniform on, protect our country, or they go Teach America or the Peace Corps or any number of these other programs, I think it's a very exciting opportunity to give back, and it becomes a lifetime of understanding what your vote means and volunteering in the community and giving back. But I also want to mention this bill has another component. It's not just people in middle school and high school and college age. We've also added some language here which allows veterans, adults, to participate and help, you know, file claims for disability and figure out what kind of educational benefits. So this helps benefit teachers and veterans and everyone. It's just a very exciting time, and I think everyone gets it.
I think that's right. Seniors can participate. People 55 years and older are engaged and can be engaged in this effort. So it's across the board. And I'll just say to you, Chris, you know, I think, you know, Ron hit it right, that this is not about partisanship. This is about evoking and really responding to a need that this country has, the people of this nation have, that they want to give back. They want to do something. And I think it was said, you know, that John Kennedy asked people to serve. Barack Obama is asking people to be engaged, be involved.
I think one of the things missing in the last 8 years, especially after 9/11, was the failure of our recent president, who has many gifts, the failure to ask people to do something.
That's right.
And
That's
I think
right.
people want to be asked. They love being asked.
Right.
People talked about that. They said, you know, it's just the asking. Because Americans understand what it means to give back. Whether they're in business or anything else they're doing, whether they're senior citizens or children, it's the asking, it's the giving, it's the value of doing something to benefit others. And it's just it's part of our faith and our understanding.
It's also the best of our human nature. Thank you,
Yes.
Congresswoman Rosa
Thank
DeLorean,
you.
Congressman Ron Klein of Florida.
Thank
Up
you.
next.